Good day, everyone. I am Frederica A. Asanias, a second-year student of Norso Shotton campus. And today I will be going to discuss to you the typology of learners with special needs, specifically learners with socio emotional disorders, namely depression and obsessive compulsive disorder. But before we go to the main topic, let us first know the objectives that will be obtained at the end of the lesson. First, define socio-emotional disorder and its types. Second, identify the causes and effects of this socio-emotional disorder. And third, evaluate different strategies and different aspects of special education. Most people can recall a time when they made an unfounded assumption about how someone is disability would act only to discover later that their assumptions were not entirely correct. No matter who we are dealing with, our expectations about people are sometimes realized, and other times we are surprised to discover how different an individual is from the stereotype on which our expectations are based. Social-emotional disorder includes illness or diseases that affects a student's thought processes, perception of all free reality, or judgment which results in disturbed behavior. This disability may be temporary or permanent, and emotional disorder affects a person's ability to be happy, control their emotions, and pay attention in school. According to Gallaudet University, symptoms might include inappropriate actions or emotions under normal circumstances, learning difficulties that are not caused by another health factor, difficulty with interpersonal relationships, including relationships with teachers and peers, a general feeling of unhappiness or depression, and the feeling of fear and anxiety related to personal or school matters. Actually, there are four types of learners with socio-emotional disorder, but today we will be going to discuss or focus on depression and obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD. I know that you are very familiar with the word depression, especially in teenagers. So, depression is a major depressive disorder, common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Children may become sad, tired, bored, or seem to be having a bad day from time to time. Usually, when the child becomes engaged in an activity, the feeling seems to pass in a short period of time. However, when these feelings persist and keep the child from going about his or her regular day, clinical depression may be the cause of the moodiness. Depression is set by the Federal Center for Mental Health Services to present in about 1 in every 33 children. That figure would mean that about every classroom of children would have one child that is clinically depressed. Once the child has a serious period of time with clinical depression, the child is at risk for serious depression again and again over the next year. When the students have depression that goes unnoticed, their mental health is at risk, which can lead to social and behavioral problems, poor performance, and learning neglected hygiene, poor self care practices, and low self esteem. So, here are the 6 ways to help students with depression. Develop a working collaborative relationship with the student. Avoid negative techniques. Make adjustments or accommodation in assignments or tasks. Plan for success. Consult with your school psychologist, school counselor, or school social worker. And lastly, get a mental health certification to learn current best practices. Understanding, patience, and compassion, knowledge of the nature and course of depression, a desire to help, and a commitment to improve outcomes can be major factors in helping students with depression to succeed in school and in life. Teachers can take steps in classroom to help recognize mental mental health issues to their students. Now, why should we care about people with depression as a student and as a future educator? Emotional and mental health is very important because it is a vital part of our life and it impacts the thoughts, behaviors, our emotions. Being healthy emotionally can promote productivity and effectiveness in school activities. Another type of social emotional disorder is what we call obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD is a disorder in which people are recurring unwanted thoughts, ideas or sensations or obsessions that make them feel driven to do something repetitively or compulsions. The repetitive behaviors such as checking on things or cleaning can significantly interfere with a person's daily activities and social interactions. According to Mayo Clinic, OCD is characterized by fears and irrational thoughts that lead to obsessions, which in turn cause compulsions. If you have OCD, you engage in compulsive, repetitive behavior despite realizing the negative consequences of or even the unreasonable nature of your actions. If you or your loved one is experiencing any of these behavioral disorders, it is important to get help as soon as possible because these conditions can affect the quality of life to such a degree that they may lead to self harm. So, these are some of the causes of OCD. First is genetic, second, stress, third, life-changing events. Fourth, changes in brain or imbalances of serotonin in brain. Fifth is personality. And the last one is thinking mode or overthinkers. OCD is like an unwelcome guest with bad manners. It moves into our mind and it doesn't want to leave. Students with OCD may ask the same question many times or ask for reassurance, erase, rewrite, redo schoolwork or tests, reread material or start over many times, have trouble with reading aloud, skip items on tests or homework, have trouble making choices. Skip items on tests or homework that they have trouble making choices with often say I don't know and take a long time to complete work. As a future educator, depending on students' age and needs and whether or not I know a student who has a diagnosis of OCD, I should consider these ideas that if I have noticed possible ritual behaviors that seem to impact a student's schoolwork, I should talk privately with the student in a supportive way and share what I've noticed. Help students work with peer to complete a specific task and give extra help to get work done and to get work into that or talk with the student's parents to learn more about your student. Share what you have noticed and ask how you can best respond to a student's rituals that may happen at school or in class. But to some students with OCD, they usually need to work with therapists for a few months or longer and take medicine to help manage anxiety. Help students work with peer to complete a specific task and give extra help to get work done or to get work into that or talk with the student's parents to learn more about your student. Share what you have noticed and ask how you can best respond to a student's rituals that may happen at school or in class. But to some students with OCD, they usually need to work with therapies for a few months or longer and take medicines to help manage anxiety. Identification and explanation of different types of learners with special needs, we are able to learn through the identification and explanation of different types of learners with special needs, we are able to learn how to deal with them, not violating any right and our rights as well. And as a future educator, I am obliged to know and create different strategies that will cater or help in handling my students. And it is our responsibility to know our students in order for us to deal with them and give them healthy environment in school. Thank you and God bless us all.